And today we have Miss Sheree in the house. She is a lovely writer, right? Today we are going to be talking about love. Okay. So the importance of love, just a whole lot of different, things on love. We're gonna be giving y'all our feedback, our experiences on love, what we've been through, and just our advice on love today. So make sure that y'all get in here, join me today, spread the love, and also join somebody else to take advantage of this podcast because it's gonna be juicy. If I do say so myself. So today you're gonna be hearing about a little bit of my love life, right? As well. So if you've been wondering about my love life, make sure that you stay tuned in because I'm telling y'all, it's going to be juicy. Yes, yes, yes. So make sure that y'all stay focused, stay tuned in because I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be. All right, this is the one today. Okay, okay. All right. So, all right. Let me let her know. Just sent it. All right. All right. So, all right.
Hello,
So
sister. Can you
now
hear
she's
me?
here. So, with further ado, now let me hand it over. Let me let Miss Sheree introduce herself. But before she do, let me let y'all know I have had the pleasure to meet this lady in person in New York. So if you don't know, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, right? And she's all the way in New York. So it's been some people that's been on my podcast that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting personally. But this young lady right here, I have had the pleasure of meeting personally. So I'm excited to be on here with somebody, that I've met in person, and that she's agreed to actually do her first interview with Queen A, and I'm excited about
That's a
that. So I'm
fact.
gonna let her go ahead and tell y'all where she's from, what she do, and just a little bit about herself. So I'm gonna turn it over to Miss Sheree. Hey, boo.
Hey, what's going on? It's Sherry Rose Storm. I was so nervous at first because I'm like, you know what? This is not something I'm used to. And I was like, the path that I'm looking on, I know that this is the first step. So I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. I'm a writer, a songwriter, a film production company. I have a consulting company. I'm the owner of Bussin' Burgers, the New York Chopped Chip Sliders. And I also own a clothing company called Green. Bags rule everything around me. And that's pretty much it.
Hey, okay then. See, I just told y'all she was a writer. See, I ain't give y'all the scoop. Y'all ain't know about all the other stuff. See what I'm saying?
Right.
See, y'all know we had some other stuff in the bag for y'all. So today our topic is on love, right? So that y'all don't know, that's one of the principles that I teach on is love. So we are going to be talking about our experiences with love. We're gonna be giving y'all some of our tips when it comes to love, and just talking about just overall what loves mean to us. Okay. So of course, since Miss Sheree is the guest, first, won't you just give us a little bit of background about your love history? Like, just tell us about why you wanted to, like, what love means to you, and just give us kind of like a little background about your love story.
Okay, yes. So, when I was a little kid, I remember falling in love for the first time in second grade. I went to all white school, and it was about maybe five black kids in the entire school, and one just happened to be in my grade, right? So I was walking past his class with my class, and I happened to look inside, and I saw him, and I promise you, it was like fairy tale blue. Like it
Hold on.
was
We
so
gotta stop right
amazing.
here. Hold on. You fell in love you said in the second grade?
Second grade, that's a fact.
Oh my God. So how did you know in the second grade that you was in love? Like, girl, you gotta tell us. How did you know?
It was an emotional connection, but it was like he was minding his business. I was walking by with my class, and it was like this overwhelming emotional attraction because it wasn't just a physical attraction. I had a lot of attractive people in my school. I wasn't thinking about, like, I was a kid, so I wasn't thinking about love the way we know it as adults, but it was just like, oh my God, who is that? Like, okay, so from kindergarten to second grade, everybody else that's in my class has been in my class. He was new to the school as well. So it was like, who is this, you know?
Oh man. So okay, so you seen somebody in the second grade and you fell in love. So did you speak to him? Like, yeah, tell us about that. Like, did you speak to him? How did that work?
So because he wasn't in my class, we didn't really see each other much. I just watched him from like wherever we saw each other. Like if we were in recess, I would try to play with him or like so the next year, the third grade, he was in my class. And so we became friends. We became really good friends. I never got to tell him then like feelings or whatever because you're a kid. And there were a lot of exotic looking girls in my school. And so all the girls that he had his eyes on were like exotic. And I was regular. Like we looked just like each other. So I was never the object of his eye.
Oh, well, did he know to today? Does he know today that in the second
I
grade
did
he was in love with him?
eventually speak up in the sixth grade.
Oh,
So from third to sixth grade, I've been like best friend with these hidden emotions. Um, and then one day, like in the sixth grade, we had a field trip. He got hurt, and I was in trouble, so I was already on the bleachers. I wasn't allowed to participate. So he had to sit on the bleachers. So we're the only two children like there. Everybody else is on the field. So we had like the most amazing day. Like he told me, you should grow up and be a psychologist. Like, and it's crazy that I'm doing that now. I would have never guessed that I listened to his advice from then, but he definitely called it.
oh man. So that's amazing. Like, let me just tell you, girl. Let me take a sip to that because I ain't never heard nobody say they two in the second grade. Like, hold on. Mm-mm.
That's a fact. I
That's
was
far.
made out of
Oh
love.
yeah.
So my two parents, they made me out of love. Like they had this crazy attraction to each other. And okay, so the prerequisite to my story, my mom's sister, her little sister, and my father's little sister were friends, a couple, or you know, back in the day, you couldn't really be a couple, but they were like best friends, let's say, right? So the stuff we could get away with now, that would not
Right.
happen back in the days, right? Especially with two parents that are like super Jesus-y, and that was not happening. But because they were always with each other, their older siblings met, and those two are my parents. So they fell in love at first sight type thing, and then that happened to me like all the time. Like my attraction is like I don't grow to like people. It's like I automatically full 100%
Oh
until you
my
do something to make it
God.
take away.
Oh, let's stop right there. So I'm glad you said that because I am a lover. Like I fall in love fast, right? And I thought it was just me. Like I love hard and fast, right?
That's a
Like
fact.
I'm telling you, like if I feel like we connected, like I fall in love instantly. So it's amazing that you said that. Like, and I never knew that about her, y'all. I'm telling y'all, this was not playing. I never knew that. So like, I never knew that. But to hear that your mom and dad like had a love connection, they fell in love instantly and how you was able to even in the second grade you was able to distinguish them feelings and know that it was a different feeling for
Yeah.
there because for me I didn't fall in love until I was 14. That was the first time I could really believe that I really thought that I loved someone, you know what I mean, at
Hmm.
14. The rest of them I was like, oh yeah, I'll be a girl, like, oh, I'm his favorite, but I never really felt a different emotion until I was 14. So to hear you say that you did that in the second grade, I want
That's
to
a
tell you
fact.
that lets me know that, like you said, but like it's kind of like you said, your mom and dad, they was like that. Like you was kind of born out of that. You know what I mean? So it's already was like in you
Believe
to
me, it's a gift
love.
and a curse.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Yes.
The
So
gift is I don't waste time like with people. So I love you automatically until you do something that makes me reevaluate. The love doesn't disappear, but my attachment to you does.
mm,
But because I already had those things in place, like already embedded in my mind, these type of things people recognize, you know, and either do one of two things. Either they feel comfortable enough to let their guard down as well, or they see that as an opportunity to exploit. And that's when it becomes a curse. For me personally.
Yes, and I totally agree with that. You know, because it's like people see our kindness and they know, like when you're a lover and you love hard, like people know it's not hard.
They
You
see
know,
that.
because
That's a
when
fact.
you a lover, like you checking on people, you want to know how they doing. You know, like you want to spend time with them. You know, so it's not hard for people to understand. Like when you like falling hard for them, and like she
Right.
said, it could be a curse and it could be a blessing. And I like how you said the curse is that, you know, even though like for us, for me, let me talk for me. For me, the curse is like I'll be thinking I'm in love so bad and this, you know, and it's gonna be forever. Cause to me, every time let me tell y'all, when I fall in love, I never think of like
10x.
today, you know, like we always thinking of forever. Okay, a person that falls in love fast, everybody we with, we think we gonna be with forever. Okay, so that's where the
Yep.
curse fall in at because when our feelings get hurt, it's different from somebody who don't really love hard. You know what I mean? For somebody who loves hard, when our feelings get hurt, our feelings get hurt. You know,
And
and
you know
I
what's
heard.
funny that you said that? My book is about emotional intelligence. So love is one part of it, but knowing that you feel this way, recognizing that you feel this way, understanding where you first felt this way, where's the root of this trigger. You know, like those are the type of things that I focus on in the book that I'm writing right now. But that was an amazing point of view you just gave.
Oh, that's okay. So tell us about this book because you just told us you got a book. So tell us about this book you're writing. Like, what is it called? Like, and just tell us what inspired you to write a book on love. Like, tell us about it.
So um, I'm in the middle of picking the title. It's either Think and Grow Mentally Healthy. So like the Think and Grow Rich and those type of things is really popular, but I don't think that people focus on the right thing. They focus on mindset, but they don't focus on emotional intelligence. So I just want to add that to the list of Think and Grows. Or what I do, emotional intelligence, healing, and the Bible. Because another part of it, for me, I'm a believer. I add little places of scripture inside to just corroborate what I've read and what I've understood to be the truth.
Right. I love that. I love that. So y'all, make sure y'all follow Sheree, okay? Because she's gonna give y'all information on how to follow y'all. So when that book drop, y'all can go get that book, okay, y'all? Because I'm telling y'all, I've talked to this lady over the phone. And when I say, like, she breaks down things so greatly, and I don't even think she understands how greatly she breaks them down. Like, for real, guys. So make sure that when she dropped that book, y'all support her and go buy the book, okay? And she'll let y'all know, like, you know, like she'll post it, let y'all know where y'all can get it from and everything. But make sure when that book drop, y'all want to get that book because I want a copy of the book too. So let me know when it drop because I'm gonna get a copy of the book because I'm
And I'm
telling you.
recording my audiobook, so it'll be in my voice if you guys download it.
Hey, y'all heard it first right here. Y'all heard it first. Like, okay. So I'm glad to hear that. So now I heard you say. So now I heard you say you have children, right? How many children do you
I
have?
do.
Like
3.
three. Okay, you got three girls, two or how you?
So my oldest, she's 20 years old. She graduates school tomorrow, so I'm super proud of her. She is getting her cosmetology degree. She wants to be a makeup artist. And develop like skincare products, which whatever I can do to help my children, I would. I have a boy who's 7, and he's into engineering. So he just graduated his aviation program where they like teach them how to build and the importance of airplanes and stuff. And then I have baby girl, she's 6, and she's the Wendy Williams of the bunch.
Ah, the Wendy
Very
Williams
Ricky
of the
Lake.
bunch. Oh, I know she's I know she's that's the one you gotta be right there. The Wendy Williams of the bunch. Oh,
That's
well
a
that's
fact.
good. Oh, but that's good to know. So you got a Wendy Williams. I'm gonna have to meet Wendy Williams. I mean, I want to meet
You're
her
gonna
now,
fall
so
in
I
love
gotta love her.
immediately.
But no. So just tell us about, because when we talk about love, children is important. That go hand in hand. No matter if you're
Yeah.
talking about loving family or loving, your significant other. So when you have children, talk about how important it is, because I know this is a big issue for a lot of people when they talk about their lover and their children, but how important it is to you. I know how important it is to me, but I want to hear from you first. How important it is to you
So
that
am I
your
able to be
children
like
connect to
open and
your
transparent,
significant other?
or you want the like pastel version?
Oh no, we this is like mature. We want the hardcore raw deal version. We want to know what's
I
like.
had to
What do you
learn
do?
how to love my children. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pro-life, so when I first found out that I got pregnant, I freaked out. Of course, I was 17 years old, and it was something I kept a secret because I was like petitioning with God, like there are a lot of people who have miscarriages and stuff. So like, if you did that for me, this would be my miracle, and like I believe you. Like I was petitioning and everything, and it was like not happening. Closer to the day, I'm like, this thing is still in here. I was not attached to it. I had postpartum for 3 years, and we didn't even know what postpartum was back then. Like they're diagnosing now, but back then it wasn't something that was a popular thing to even talk about. I got a lot of scrutiny because of the things that I didn't connect with. Like nurturing immediately didn't come to me. I had to learn, and it wasn't until my third child that I even made um like the dang, I can't find a word. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, like the connection or something like that.
Yeah, like I couldn't get there. So I had an issue with my last child. I didn't want at all. And so I tried to get an abortion, even though I'm pro life, which means I didn't want to do that because it was like, all right, look, God, this is enough. It's enough, right? So I was like overwhelmed, let's say, because I made this bed, I laid in it, I'm keeping the baby, I made a new life with like my whole career, I just gave away because I'm like, I'm gonna focus on being a mom. But it was a lot more than I was willing to handle. And so one day I went to go pick up my one kid and left the baby in uh, the crib. I thought it was a safe place, just went to go get the other baby. When I came back, police was in my house. So I'm like, what happened? She climbed out the crib, got out the house, went to the elevator, went downstairs, and my whole complex is filled with cameras. So there's no way to get out of that, and they saw everything. What time I left, what time I got back, what time she left the crib, like so everything was on camera. There was no fighting it. I had to end up pleading no contest, obviously. But it sounds like a tragedy, but it was the best thing that happened because when they took the children away, I got a sense of freedom, and I didn't realize how trapped I felt until I had the freedom. Then having too much freedom and that sense of missing my children, or like working hard to try to get them back, and everybody telling me what I can and cannot do with my own children, it was humbling experience to the point where it made me love them, which is crazy because I can love the opposite sex in a second. But when it comes to my children, it takes me years to get to a place where like I even realized there was a disconnect. When I had a conversation with somebody, he was like, I know that you think that you love these children, but I don't think that you do, because I don't think that you understand what a mom's love is. When he broke down his like outlook on it, as hard as it was for me to admit, because I have emotional intelligence, I had to self reflect. He was right, and I changed immediately. But sometimes you gotta have those friends that pull you aside, like, look, I get it, this is a hard conversation, but you need to hear this. And I'm so grateful to God for a whole circle of people who, who don't shy away from making sure I stay on my P's and Q's.
Oh, well, Oh, first off, let me say kudos to you. Kudos to you, baby, for because that takes it takes courage to even share that for one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To even share that, and then when you went through that, to even acknowledge that you had to go through that to love your kids. Because, and I'm glad you said that because everything is not picked up suddenly like this by everybody. It's just like, you got math. Some people learn it fast, some people learn it slow. Some people learn reading better than math, and some people, it's vice versa. And I'm glad we
Yeah.
have both of us on here because for me, my love was instant. You know what I mean? I could love the man or my kids instantly. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
never knew what it was like to not experience the love when it came to my youth and them. So to hear you talking like that, and it was just like, for me, it was an eye opener. Like, wow, like it's mothers out here that don't have the connection, that have to go through that. But that's just like with anything else, like how you say, like for me, all kids ain't the same. One of my
Right.
daughters, I can take her
Oh
phone.
boy.
The other one, I gotta just yell at her and she'll just, curl up. My son, I gotta put hands on him. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody different. You know what I mean? So, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that we say talking about this on here because that's important. And I want to spread this, that stop judging people because they don't have the same, they're not as quick to catch on to things as you are. Because everybody has a story to tell, and every journey is not your journey. Her journey is not mine, and mine is not hers. It's a lot of things. I bet you that, like business, like I said, when I was talking to this lady on the phone about my business, her mind is like this when it comes to thinking of ideas, right? Like this. I'm a creator. Like I'm a creator. I do it, but then I need somebody else to, like, do the
I'm a
little way of,
10Xer.
take the, connect it, right? Exactly. She's the connector. And so that's one thing we learned when we was talking. And even with this right here, right? It's like I want y'all to understand that, but we learned a lot from each other. Just on that
Yeah.
conversation. Like, like I said, I'm a creator, she's a connector. And just so I want y'all to understand when y'all listen to this, like, just because if you know somebody or you see somebody going through something, instead of judging them, like she said, if that's really your friend, pull them to the side because that's true love. We talking about love on here. True love is when you really care about
Yes.
somebody and you pull them to the side, not when you let them walk away and you go talk to your friends about it or somebody else about it. True love, if you really love that person, pull them to the side. Because I'm telling you, like she just said, sometimes it take that. Somebody might not really
Right.
realize what they going through or how they acting until somebody that they really love come to them and say, "Hey, let me pull you to the side. Let me talk to you for a minute. You got a minute? Hey, I noticed you've been acting da da da." You get what I'm saying? Then we wake up because I done had it happen to me. But somebody to pull me to the side, like, "Hey, Gwen, hey, look, let me tell you." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Was I acting like that? I ain't noticed." But then when you
Because
think
people
about it,
really have to be brave enough or fed up enough to come to you in the first place. Because people's initial thing isn't to nip things in the bud. For some reason, I don't know, as humans, we let a lot of stuff slide. I happen to have a great team of people that don't let stuff slide. I don't either. But normally, like on a normal scale, a lot of people feel like because they're a nice person or want to look like a nice person, nice is judged on how much you let slide, and it's really not. And that's another thing I put in the book as well.
yes. And I'm glad, I'm grateful to hear you say that because I talk about this all the time. Like when you really love someone, you correct them. That's just like even when it comes to your kids. If you really love them, you're not gonna let them get in trouble every day. You're not gonna let them just, start picking up knives and start just, just doing anything. If you really love them, you're gonna correct them. You're gonna show them the right
Yes.
way. So thank you for sharing that because I want to explain that that takes a lot. And me personally, I want to tell you that I appreciate you even taking the time because it's a lot of women out here and men that's been in the same position as you, but that didn't take the time to even get their youth back. You know what I mean? I know people
Yeah.
who not had their youth since they've had them, and their youth
Mm.
are grown, and they still ain't thinking about getting them. So
I
I
don't
just want
judge
to
because
say,
I understand. I've also been to the point where, like, I'm like, this is too much. I can't. I feel over. I know that feeling, so I empathize with women who go through that, and it's like, look, good riddance. Like, I totally understand that. I don't agree, but I get it, and I definitely I feel like the bridge between the gap between that feeling and the feeling they're supposed to have. I went to parenting classes as part of the process, but it was like the most amazing. I wouldn't have done it otherwise, but I might not have been the great parent that I feel like I am now. because I didn't know so many things, or like I didn't consider so many things. I remember more when I was a kid when they asked me to in exercise in class, but looking at my children, I didn't even notice the reflection of me that I'm looking at, or like they told us in class something like the parts of them that you don't like about you is what you see in them the most, and that's what the conflict is with some of your children. Once I saw that, and it reminds me of certain memories that I had, like it's like things are happening again, but like with someone else. Now I know how to handle it because I know how I wish it would have been handled when I was in these shoes, which I never would have even thought about had I not went to the classes.
Mm. I'm glad you talked about that. Now I got to back up because you said something when I said that it's people out here. Now you know Queen I had to back it up a little bit. I had to so when I said there's people out here that gave their kids away when they first had them, they still ain't never even looked forward to getting them back. Now you said you can sympathize with that, right? And you understand that.
Hmm.
Now
Yes.
Queen A, this is probably the first time on here. We I disagree with that because I feel like I can sympathize. Now this is where I sympathize. Let me say I can sympathize if you have something mental going on, like if you have
Hmm.
something really mentally going on in your life, or you're like, you're not stable enough, like mentally stable, like you can hurt them or something like that. But I feel like if you didn't had a child and your child is 18 and all you done did from the 18 years is party and you still partying, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's love, and I can't sympathize with a mother that's not out here that can take more time, even when we talking about a lover. If you can take more time, because a lot of these women, they done had a lot of relationships, right? They call
Yeah.
themselves in love with men, and I can't sympathize with a woman that can be in love with a man but won't take time to even try to build a relationship with their kids or try to get their kids back. So explain to me, where do we differ on it? Like, where do you see, like, or just plain, maybe I'm misunderstanding. Explain to me, how do
No,
you
you don't
feel, or is
misunderstand.
that okay?
Your outlook is the normal outlook on it,
Right.
and that's why I'm glad that I went through both stages, because I can tell you from the other point of view. When it
Right.
first happened, I felt some sigh of relief, like, oh my god, I can finally do something. I don't have to ask somebody to watch my children or deal with somebody's attitude because I can't make it back on time, or like I feel like I can't go to work at a certain hour because I had two jobs at the same. I was partying, I was doing stuff that I was not able to do at that time, and it felt amazing, and I felt guilty that I enjoyed it because I'm supposed to be sad that they're missing, and that was the pivotal point that made me feel like, damn, well, let me reflect. Like, do I love these kids? Like, because if I did, would I be okay with the fact that they're not here? I start considering things that other people are not thinking about. They're thinking about enjoying themselves. Everybody is not meant to be a parent just because their body can do it.
Right. Now, see
And
you.
some
That's
people,
different. Now, see you was thinking about that. I'm talking about for the mothers
no, but that
that
didn't happen until after, well, after. In the beginning, my child is 20. I got her back at 15. So from 3 to 15, she was with my mom. I was outside.
Mm.
And I see now we have a lot of conversations where I was present when I thought it mattered, like graduations, and when we have fights at school, I was the one to go up there, or like parent teaching. I tried my best to be there. But I was doing music at the time, so I was in other countries and moving around and doing a lot of things. Where like if she needed me, I was a call away, but I wasn't there daily. And so to have another baby, and then to have another one after that, because the two are 1 year apart.
Oh,
So
wow.
to be now from having all of this freedom and being like a fun auntie instead of a mom from the beginning, and then having three, and then feeling overwhelmed was, it was a lot. But when you
Right.
have a child and you look at it and they look back at you and you fall in love immediately, you're not going to understand having a kid you didn't want, listening to them cry, pampers all the time, they throw up. And I mean, that shit that they take that go everywhere that make you want to just put the whole baby in the garbage. Like those are the things that stand out to me, where other people look at like the way the baby smiles, or dressing them up cute. Those are the things that didn't stand out to me. It was the things that I did not do this job because of these things. I like quiet babies make too much noise, or like they can't do anything for themselves, so you have to do everything. And being narcissistic or like self-centered, you're thinking about what you want to do, and now I have to think about me and you. That's a lot, like. And some people are not natural moms, like
Right. I
um
understand.
when somebody said to me that I was narcissistic, I had to look it up and see they were wrong. But I had to look it up and see what I was putting off that made them feel that way. They were the only one that felt that way, so it was easier for me to self-reflect and see that what they were seeing was self-centered. I am absolutely still working on that, work in progress, self-centered. But without somebody pulling my card, I didn't even see it. I just thought I was confident, everybody else was insecure. I didn't think that there was a problem until I had children who needed me and I was not. I was there like minimally. Like you have to eat, you have to wear clean clothes, you have to have a bed to sleep in. Like I was there that like that. But when it came to like um something emotionally attached, like you just want to spend time with me, I'm like, go sit down, or like go in the room, or like go watch TV, because I'm doing something that I want to be doing and you're interrupting me. And a lot of parents I see who even feel like they love their kids treat their kids a little messed up because they don't notice what they're doing wrong, or like how their children may be internalizing it, because you go sit down real quick might be he hates women for the rest of his life because he feels assertive and he don't want nobody to be dominant over him. Now he's 50 years old and still unmarried because he's mad at how his mom used to talk to him, but he didn't realize those roots of those issues.
Right.
Or the first girl that broke his heart, he hate girls for the rest of his life, but you have a physical attraction to them, so you date them and you're awful to them because of the person that was awful to you. You want to get in front of it instead of feeling like that again. And those are the things that I focus on as well, because I don't think people even notice that those things happen.
Right. Right.
And
And
as
you
a
right about
parent,
that.
you don't notice that your children have emotions, because if you don't consider them little human beings and you just think, like, have a warped conception of what children are, you're going to miss it. And I'm glad that I had the class to teach me not to miss it. And that made my relationship with them so much better. Even my oldest, she had a lot of resentment, for me not being there. And then all of a sudden, you're there for the little ones. And I'm like a constellation prize. I'm like, no, that was not right. Actually, they're only here because I wanted you back. And we had that open and honest conversation. And I teach my children to be emotionally intelligent from young, so that when they get my age, that is not an issue. But we talk a lot. We work on adjectives, because some people think mad, sad, happy are the only feelings that we have. They don't know disappointment, or what's another one? Grief, or like heartbreak. When people just think they're sad, there's more places of being sad. Like, or you think you're depressed, but you're really just complacent. Like, a lot of people don't know the adjectives to the emotions. So I have an emotion chart, and it has like a list of emotions that people don't normally attach to, that if you look up the meaning, that might be the more accurate feeling that you're going through. When you know what you're feeling, you might remember the first time that this happened to you. So it might be something that you've been dealing with since a little kid, and you don't even realize that this is a pattern, because it's different people in different situations, and without self-reflection, you don't notice that you keep going to this certain type of people. Especially in love, because it's not just romantic love. Like, I could have a teacher that was my favorite teacher, and not anybody who reminds me of this teacher, I automatically love them, because they remind me of how nice the teacher was to me. And anybody outside of that, I automatically don't like them, because I know my standard that was set for me was the one that the teacher set. But if you don't have
Right.
somebody to even set a standard, like say you have parents that may be gangsters, or drug addicts, or mentally whatever, who can't show you, or not even that bad, but just like they weren't raised in a way with love, so they don't know how to show you.
Right.
You wouldn't recognize that you needed help in those areas. or how to heal from those areas, because the first part of fixing something is identifying the problem. If you don't feel like you have a problem, it's almost impossible to fix it.
Right. I agree with that. So I'm glad you actually brought that up because I agree with exactly what you said when, a lot of people don't understand about, listening. Like I talk a lot about listening to a child. You feel me? Paying attention to children because a lot of people don't pay children no attention. You know what I mean?
I was those
And
people.
yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm
So it's
recovering.
like,
Thank you.
so look, I talk a lot about that, about listening to the youth and stuff. But I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask a question. So, do you think that? Because I heard you say it, so I kind of already know your answer because you kind of like answered it a little bit. So, childhood plays a lot with how how you portray your love as an adult, right? Correct?
Yes.
When
Yes.
a lot of things you go through as a child. So, do you think that a lot like it was something that you went through in your childhood is the reason why like it was hard for you to love your children when you became an adult and you had your
Absolutely.
own children? Okay, because that's why now that makes more sense, because I know people, me personally, who's been raped, and so like like and like maybe they had a child at a rape, and
Mm.
and I'm just saying I don't know nobody who had a child at a rape, but let's say they did, and I know some people that's like I have to give that baby up because I just can't be there
Look
physically for
at your
that baby, and I
assailant,
can't.
because sometimes they come out looking like the person that damaged you. That's a fact.
Exactly. And that's where I say I understand
So
that. I
you
definitely
empathize for
understand
the
that.
people that you understand, but it's kind of harder for you to empathize if you don't know where they're coming from.
Exactly. And that's why I was asking you because you've been there. So I just want to know because I always thought, and I teach on this, that I believe environment. And like I tell people when I say environment, that goes to, like my kitchen is my environment. My children are my environment. What I listen to is my environment. What I watch is my environment.
Right.
So I believe that plays a big role in how we respond to love when we get older. But like, for me, I was raised by my dad, right? So like my
Me
dad
too.
for me is like my superhero, right? And he always was a lover. So when
Hmm.
I meet men, I always have this like image, like I want them to be like my father. I can't explain it. Like it's not like I want a dad, but it's like, dang, I feel like well, you should be clean, you should be this, you should be like getting me stuff for this. Like
He
I just
taught you
feel so good.
how to have a standard. He treated
Yes.
you in a way that you should be treated. And now from then on, if they're not better than your dad, at least matching, you're not interested. Like, can you
Yes,
imagine
that
the
right
people that don't have a
there.
dad and nobody to teach them a standard,
Yes.
and then them having children? How can they teach their children a standard that they don't have? How can they teach them love that they don't have? How can they even attach to them not feeling what that ever felt like from anyone before them?
You just spoke a mouthful because I teach on this and you just said it, and it's crazy because it's like we was on different scales when it comes to love, but at the same time we still here when it comes to mind frame on
That's a
what
fact.
the process that it takes, like certain steps. Like for instance, if somebody was raised around hate their whole life, they might grow up, and when they meet somebody they might show love in a hateful way, if that makes sense. They
Right.
might start smacking them up. They might drag them by their hair, but to them, that's love because they might have been raised with their dad showing their mom love, smacking her up and dragging her, and that's all
That's a
they ever
fact.
seen their whole life. So a lot of people don't understand that everybody shows love differently according to their environment that they was raised in. So I'm glad to hear
Unless
you
you
say that.
learn. And
Exactly.
that's why
That's
I
right
want to
there.
teach the
That's right
people
there.
everything that I learned. Like, if I could, I would tell the entire world everything I learned if I could.
Yes. So how
Because
important
once
do
I
you
learned, it
think?
really changed my life and the lives of other people that are attached to me. Because you don't even know how many people watch you or look at you unless they say something. But there are a lot of people that be like, oh, when you was going through this and you was posting about this, I was too, but I didn't want to say anything. And the fact that you were very verbal about certain things. Like my breakup that I went through was horrible. I never allowed myself to love guys. And so I decided I wanted to change my mind about that, and I chose the wrong partner. That's all I'm gonna say about that because I don't want to say anything negative.
I
But
understand.
I chose the wrong partner for me. We were not a match, and there was a lot of things about my partner that I was willing to accept only because of what I wanted out of the deal. um, until it became more than I can accept. And then I eventually had to wean myself away from that situation. But the entire time from the breakup until the day that I decided this is not going to like affect me anymore, it was hard. It was like almost a year. It was hard. And I was on Snapchat and I was on Facebook, like divulging all of the feelings and stuff I was going through. And I realized who loved me and who didn't. The people who were annoyed, like, oh gosh, she's still crying instead of concerned, I absolutely disclaimed myself from. Because if I'm hurting and you love me, you should want to fix it. Or like give me encouraging words, not be annoyed that I'm still hurting. You don't love me if that's the case. You don't love you if that's the case. And I can't be mad at the fact that you can't show me a love that you don't have. But also, I don't have space for that in my life. And I'm glad that I was very vulnerable about everything I was going through. It showed me who was for me and who wasn't. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to have even been through that, because I was single for 17 years and I did not date. I
Girl,
was
you
very
don't
career
date. Hold
driven.
up, hold up, hold up. Did you say 17 years?
17 years as a fact.
Really?
No one
Girl,
lasted
you
more
know
than a week.
what?
Even if I entertained the thought, no one lasted longer than a week. I was very adamant about finding my match, and I found a guy on the internet, like a dating app.
Right.
What I didn't realize is the dating apps ask you what are you looking for. So it is easy for a predator. Maybe I don't want to use that word, but it's easy for someone else to tell you they are what you're looking for because you've already told them the cheat sheet.
A predator. A predator. She said
I don't.
that's
In
crazy.
case this gets far and the person sees it, I don't want them to feel like I'm calling Bill a predator. I'm just saying in general. Like when
Okay,
you
Queen
seek
A
a
said,
certain
okay,
type of
so
person for a certain type of outcome, that is technically a predator. So that's why I use that. But people be sensitive.
that's okay. But it's crazy. So let me just tell you about me so you won't think it's just you. So I was in a relationship for 10 years, right?
Mm.
And even before that, I was in another relationship. And it's crazy how you said, like, I always felt, and I'm talking because we're talking about love here. I always felt that, because you just said something that I always felt. I always felt like I always chose the wrong person to give my love to. I can't explain it, but it's like I always have somebody, and I'm like, this is it. Like, it's like a prize. Like, you pick them out, like, oh, this is my prize. Like, I just won the lottery, and then when my heart get broke and that person is not who I, now let me say who I thought they were, because a lot of
Yeah.
times people show us who they are, but because
And we
I
ignore
was
it for the
so
parts of
in
your life.
love, yes, because I was so in love, I didn't pay attention to who the person was showing me they were. So talk to me about, how do you feel, because I know how I feel. How do you feel when you, or now that we done been through this, we done been through the thing of people letting us down with love? How do you feel about dating now? Do you feel like you can love somebody, like, and give them
I
all
can
your
always
love?
love
I mean,
someone.
because today's world is crazy. I mean, you got all types of stuff going on now. So I want to know how you feel about that, because
I
I'm gonna
can
tell you how I feel, but
always
I want to
love
know how you
someone.
feel
That's
about
the
it.
thing. I don't think that I'm capable of turning that part off. No matter how much I try, and I'm really in charge of every other emotion except who I love. I cannot help that. What I can help is who I allow to be around me.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I have learned how to love people from a distance. If you need me, I will be there for you. I don't hold grudges. I try my hardest not to. I like to address every issue. I don't let anything slide. And I set a certain standard. If you cannot follow this standard, I'm not trying to change you, but just know you're not allowed to have me in your life. And I'm sorry, but we have to, separate. And that's with anyone. That's family. That's work. Like I might have the best job in the world, but if you guys don't respect me, or like there's a reason for me to be like, this is my boundary, you're crossing it, I have to go. I will. When I was doing music, there's a lot of people that I worked with. It was a lucrative opportunity that I turned down because I know what kind of person they are and I know what it's attached to. And it's, without going too further into that, it was just like, I know how to protect me from people now. Where I didn't have that before, and I was always heartbroken, and it made me harder and harder and harder. And then I just one day was like, I don't want to get to a point where I know I'm supposed to feel a way. I'm very knowledgeable, but my actual feelings don't feel anything. I've been there before, and that was very scary. I know that it would make me a great boss lady, no nonsense. It'll make me rich, but it doesn't make you happy. It does. You're not allowed to be happy because guess what? Happy is an emotion too. So you're just alive. You're not really living, but you're just alive. That was a scary time because I was having so much fun and I didn't care about many things. So anything could have happened and it was like, oh well, and that's not a good outlook on life either. The effort, that's not good either. Because yes, you won't be affected by certain things, but when you are, you won't know how to handle it because you're not used to handling things.
Yes. So yes, you is so right. You will be off, y'all. I'm telling y'all, she is not lying. Now for me, I'm like you. Like it's hard for me to turn the love off, but I know that I'm kind of scared to fall in love again. Like you know what I mean? Like I think it's
Don't be,
for
because
me
guess
because
what?
I'm scared.
You know now what to look for. You know every red flag you don't like. Now it's up
Yes.
to you to see it and be like, no, I'm not doing this. When I go to date someone, the reason why they don't make it past a week is, can I handle this for 10 years? Can I handle this for 20 years? And if it's
Right.
something I know that I can barely handle today, I'm not going to put myself through 10 years of compromise for something that I already knew in the beginning I was not with. And I think people ignore those things because of their attraction. I'm not fooled by my attraction.
Right. And that's something I teach my kids. So I teach my kids this. Like you supposed to have standards. You're supposed to know what you can accept and what you won't accept coming in the door. So like me, I already know what I'm willing to accept and what I'm not willing to accept coming in the door. Like,
If it's
and
not
like
right for you, it's just a lesson
yes.
to the next person that's right for you. You wouldn't know what's right for you if you didn't go through what was wrong for you to be
Right.
able to set a standard. So what your
Right.
dad didn't show you was the bad parts because he
Right.
loved you the good parts.
Right.
So you had to have someone who showed you the bad parts so that now when you have the right one, you know both. You know what you won't handle because your dad couldn't show you that because he wouldn't do that to you. And then you know what you would like because the person who couldn't show you that, but your dad did. So now you have both sides. So there's no reason to be afraid
Hey,
because
I'll
now
tell you
you
why it
know
is
what
for
to look for.
me. See, for me, it is. It's the reason why to be scared. Because let me tell you, people lie,
Cautious,
and
not
people can
scared.
turn on. People can turn on and turn off. Like you know what I mean? Like people can be the best there is in life for a whole year. They will do everything, sweep you off your feet, especially if they know what you like and what you don't like, and what you accept and what
Right.
you don't accept. You got men out here, like you said, the predators out here. I'm just gonna put it out here. They will sweep you off your feet for a year. And I'm gonna tell you, somebody like me, in a year, I'll be feeling love. Okay, all right. I'm in a year, I'm in love. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there.
They have me
So
at
for
hello, sis.
me,
So look, at least you wait a year.
hey, for me, no, you know what I'm saying? By a year, I'll be in love, right? So that's why I'm scared to open my heart to somebody because I know the moment I open my heart, it's like this. Like I fall in love like this. Like you know what I mean? It's not hard for me, especially if I feel like it's like we got a connection. And and you especially don't let you be like a businessman. You on your stuff, and you got a little bit of street in you. Like I love both. You gotta have a little bit of street. I can't have you all the way business and not a little bit of street. You got a little bit of just a dab, a splash of that street in there. And then, but you got
Hmm.
to be a businessman as well. So if I see that mix, like I'm like drooling, I'm like a. So
That's your
it's like to
attraction.
me, yes, that is my I like. So how do
That's where you
you? Because you
start.
said
So then you make a checklist. And the
yes,
checklist is all the things that you're willing to put up with and all the things that you're not willing to put up with. Right? And I mean this in
right,
mental one. You don't have to carry around real paper. But like, let's say a man who shows chivalry is really important to you, or somebody that's
right,
really romantic is important to you. When you're going through the dating process, before you make it all the way into a year, you let them know these are the things that's important to me, and you really pay attention. So I feel like you don't fear being in love again. I feel like you fear being hurt again.
I don't think that worked because my last two relationships I did that. Like I was very firm about what I wanted, what I expected, and all that. That just don't work. I thought being
No.
transparent
If you
worked for me.
told them what you
Hmm.
expected, you gave them the blueprint of how to get to you. That's
No,
something
I
you
said,
have to know
oh,
what you expected. That's not
oh yeah,
that's not the conversation that you have. The conversation that you have is how are you? What are your views on this? Not what I want, but I want to know how you already are. Because you're not gonna be able to change somebody if they don't feel like it. But if you
oh
tell them
no,
this is what
no,
I like,
no.
they're like, oh yeah, I could do that because in their mind they want you. So they're gonna do whatever it is to
No, no, no. I think you
get you.
misinterpret what I'm saying. So not that. Like I get that part. So I think you misinterpret what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, for instance, like you can have it up here. I've been having it up here what I want in my head since I was a little girl. And it hasn't
Right.
changed. I know exactly what I want. That has not changed. You get what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
that's very open. And then when I meet somebody, to me it's all about trans communication. I'm very like I love to communicate. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And like when you communicate with somebody, it's like because to me that's how you get through to somebody is by communicating. You can't have a relationship without communication. So like for me, even though I've been like I've did all that, I still feel like you know I think for me it's the more of just wanting, and I need to just let it come if that makes sense. Because it's like for me, it's like oh okay, like this is what I want, this is what it is. Yeah, this is it. We together, this and it. But now I'm learning because I done got older. Like just relax and let it be. Because I always had a fear like you were single for 17 years. My biggest
Yeah.
fear again. Like I don't want to be like I never wanted to be single. You get what I'm saying? So for
Mm.
me, it's
I never
harder for
wanted to
me.
become.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? That's why I said like this is a great conversation because like you never wanted to
Remember,
become
I
and I
told you
never
I
wanted
was
to be single.
self-centered. So being in a relationship, you have to think about you and a whole nother person. That's just like how I felt about children. So can you imagine me setting myself up for having to think about me and you?
Right.
Impossible. Until I changed my mind and I wanted that.
Right. So with love now, how do you feel about love now?
I feel like okay. So I have these big ambitions. I've already started, a few things, but I know like there's a long list of things that I want to accomplish if God gives me the time here on this earth. Um, I really would love a partner that I could do it with, or at least have at the side when I have things I want to tell them, or like networking events I don't want to go to by myself, or like those type of things I would love to have. I had to also understand that if that never happens, I had to be okay too. So I'm at a place where I put myself in a place of the caliber of people I want to meet. You're not gonna find me in a club. You'll find me in a library. You'll find me at a networking event. Or like if I do find love, it'll be of a caliber of person that's a little higher standard than what I've been used to finding people online or like the corner store. Like that's not the place that I want to meet the love of my
Right.
life. Not that it can't happen, but I just don't feel like, you know, I want to put myself in a better place. Like I would rather be on Wall Street at a bar and meet a person who used to be a lawyer and like than meeting them at a club that like they want to pretend to be whatever, or like they just made enough to get in because they got to pay to get in, and then that's as much as they get. Because I've also been around a lot of people that I've seen in relationships, and that's another reason why I was single, because I'm like looking at their situation like couldn't be me. And then when it was me, I realized I was willing to accept a lot of things that I judged other people for. Well, I don't judge people anymore, but I was super judgmental at one time. And I think that God puts me through certain things so that I can relate to other people and judge less.
Yeah. I definitely
I really
understand
believe
that.
I can be in love again. I feel like when the match finds me, because the books say when a man find a wife, he find a good thing. So I ain't looking, but if he finds me, I'm in a place where I can
Right.
accept her and I'm open, and if that's the case. But I also don't uh, compromise in the beginning.
Right. I
I
love
don't
that.
mind
So
growing and compromising together, but to
right.
compromise in the beginning is crazy to me. I'm good because that's what I did before, and I realized that was the error.
I definitely understand. So I learned. I was doing dating sites, and the last person I met was on POF, and I'm not gonna lie. I can't say it was all bad. It was good, but it was just like you know, I felt like he didn't have my back far as the business wise. Like I felt like this was like a major disturbance. And then it was like, even though I'm just, trying to be cordial and nice, like, but now I'm understanding that one thing I learned for me is that I was looking for somebody that I'm not even. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking
Yes,
for a king, but I'm not even the queen that he would want. You get what I'm saying? So I had to give myself time to become the person that I'm looking for. Okay, if this the person I'm looking for, what kind of queen is he looking for? You get what I'm saying? Like who is he looking
hmm
for? Where is he at? You get what I'm saying? So I had to understand, like how you said, like I ain't been to clubs in years. So I'm like you. I don't do the clubs. You know what I mean? I'm like I'd rather meet mans at a small business expo or a event, a city hall or some kind of business, adventure or meeting or mingling somewhere amongst, in a conference or something. But I'm learning to turn myself into the person that I'm asking, like I'm asking for a man that's 8 figures, that's this, that's that. But I'm not even a woman that's 8 figures, that's this, or I'm not even. So I had to learn, like, well, before you ask for certain things, because that's just like asking for a mansion, but you ain't even making $1 million. That don't make sense. Why is you ask for a mansion and you ain't even working on making $1 million first? You get what I'm saying? So I had to understand that, like, work on what you want. Like, if I'm looking for somebody
yes,
that's positive, I'm looking for somebody that's in this business, in this industry. Well, they're not gonna be looking for a street woman. They're not gonna be looking for a woman that's just lazy. They're not looking for a woman in a factory. You get what I'm saying? So
right.
I had to come out of my element and say, okay, well, let me put myself in different situations and different environments and learn and meet different people because all the people I know from the hood. So I had to start. Let me start going to different environments. Like now, I'm about to go to the small business expo and things like that. But I'm doing that and learning to get comfortable with just building my business. And I'm like you. I feel like it'll come as I'm building myself instead of me focusing on love and that coming. Just focus on building my business. And if it's for me, I'm learning. Like I always said, this what's for you is for you. Can't nobody take it away. So I'm learning that what's for me is for me, and can't nobody take it away. So when it comes, ain't nobody gonna be able to take it away. So I had to learn that, and I'm just grateful to have you on here to talk about love because just hearing your story, like about how your childhood, because people need to hear this. Like like everybody think that everybody is just like like so motherly and so nurturing. As soon as they have a baby, they look at them and they just get googly eyes, and that they can just
Right.
be loving all day, every day. They need to understand there's women out here that didn't have that connection at first. That had to work on learning how to nurture. And they had to work on learning how to even love, and that can be without a relationship for 17 years. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you got people out here that think a woman got to be in a relationship. As soon as they leave in, it got to be the next one. As soon as this, but we're hearing from somebody who didn't even have a relationship for 17 years. You know, so
That's
and
a
she's
fact.
writing a book on love. And just to hear, I would love to. I can't wait to read your book because just from your story, I love your views on love because, like you said, you went through a lot of things that I've never been through. So you can see love in a different element that I can never see it because I haven't experienced what you experience when it comes to love. You know what I
Right.
mean? You know what it's like to not feel love from a certain, I always
You know
felt
what it's
love.
like to love someone and they love you back. I can't say that I ever felt that. So I like you have experiences that I don't have. I dated someone who knew how to pretend well. It felt great until I found out it wasn't real. And then it was as that was the part that made that year the most sad because I had to self reflect like, so what's so wrong with me that everyone else gets to experience that and not me? But I think it was just like a learning experience that I can know exactly what it is that's going to make me happy. Because I was single for so long, everybody else that went through things that are my age now know what they like and what they don't like. And I had no clue because I avoided it almost.
Right. And I want y'all to understand now. You said something that I feel, and you experience love differently than me. And like you said, you never even experienced having love back, and I have. And yet we still feel the same way, which is, what's wrong with me? You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I felt like that over and over. Like every time something didn't work out in a relationship, I always went back to what's wrong with me. And then it wasn't
Girl.
until it wasn't until like I had to really break down, like, well, hold up. Well, first of all, I had to start learning how to, well, you're not even surrounding yourself in different environments. You in the same place all the time. You looking for love. Like I'm doing the same steps to find
That's
love,
what
and
was
expecting
wrong
a
with
whole
us.
different result. And that's like the definition of it being insane. You know what I mean? Insanity is literally that. So I had to really understand, well, it's nothing wrong. Well, no, first, hold on, let me say this back. It was something wrong with me, but not mentally. It was just something wrong with the process of my
Yeah.
choosing. Yes. You know, like I always chose the guy, from my environment. And like I say, I'm from the hood. So when you choose a hood guy, more than likely you're gonna get hood stuff. Okay, that just happens. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. You know what I mean? So, and I'm learning to put myself in different environments so I can experience a different kind of love that I never had. Because all my
Right.
love came from people that was in the same environment that I grew up in. I've never had love from somebody who wasn't in the hood. And I'm not talking
Yeah.
about, like I said, I want a guy that's a business guy with a sprinkle of hood in. I mean, he's from the hood, but all the guys I messed with still was involved in the hood. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that's where I had to check myself. So, and I heard you say that for you, it's like a wake up call for us. Like we have to, like, hold up, talk to ourselves. Like, 'cause a lot of people scared to talk to themselves, but to me, the most important thing you can do is talk to yourself. You know, when you
Right.
feel having these emotions and feelings, you have to talk to yourself, express them. People scared. I talk to myself and answer myself all the time. You know what I mean? But going through love, I had to understand, like, it was my environment. It wasn't like me mentally. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm okay up here. I just got to learn how to take different action steps to get what I want. You get what I'm saying? Move differently. Don't
That's a
keep
fact.
searching, sitting down and just
Mhm.
searching on POF. Like she said, telling POF exactly what I want so the predators can tell me exactly what I want to hear.
That's a fact.
So now, before we get up off of here, because I know I had you on here for an hour, so I'm about to let you go in a minute. So
Yeah.
before we get off of here, let the people know first off, before we get this part, how can they find you? Tell them all your platform handles, where you at, what they, how they can look you up and they can follow you first. So go ahead, tell us how we can follow you.
I have a Facebook fan page, Sherry Wealth Storm. I'm on Instagram, aka underscore Shamps, SHAMPZ. My artist name when I was a singer was Champagne. My friend girl called me Shamps for short. So I'm merging the gap between my old life and the one that I am now, as a business mogul. And that's really the best ways to find me, either on Facebook or Instagram, because I really don't be on social media yet.
Before we go, so I got to tell y'all this story, right? I have to tell y'all this story. She just reminded me. So when she said that, so I have to tell y'all. So we was in New York. So I met her. We was at a New York coaching event, and so she was like, I'm nervous about getting on live. Like I've never been on live. She just don't do live, right? So while
Still, but
we
I'm getting
there,
there.
while we there, I sat down and I'm like, I need you to do can you do a review for me? And but she not doing it in my head. I'm already thinking, like, if I can get her down, sit down and do a review, like she can definitely get sit down and talk, like, on her own camera. Like, so she actually sat down. It took a little minute though, y'all. Let me tell you, it took a little minute, but it really didn't take that long. I'm telling you, it really didn't take that long. By the time we finished our recruit, I had her sitting down in front of the camera, and she did an awesome job. And she's on the
Thank you.
podcast today. So, y'all, we got to give her a hand, because I'm telling y'all, I got to give you a hand myself. I do say so myself, because that's a big jump. So that's
Thank
why I want
you.
y'all to support her. Whenever y'all see her, make sure that y'all are supporting her. Let her know how great she's doing, because she's doing great. Just the things she's giving y'all. And the main reason I want y'all to follow her, because she gives y'all some great, great advice on just life events. If you have a business and you're struggling on like anything, like
Yes,
I'm
plug
telling
that
y'all, like
in.
how to connect the dots, She is like literally the connector. I'm not lying to you
Right.
guys. Like
Oh, let
y'all
me
might
tell
want to
you, I
hire
have a
her.
company called Wealth Storm Consults where we do 10x ideas, where you come to us with your idea and we make it super big.
And she ain't lying super big. Y'all. I was on the phone with her. My mouth was like, she was giving me ideas I had never even thought of. I'm like, you know what? That sounds so good. I'm gonna do that. Like, so make sure that y'all reaching out to her though, for real, because like she is really stepping out of her element right now, and I appreciate it. And she came on here when she could have went on anybody else thing, anybody else show first, but she came right here to share her story first. So make sure that y'all show her some love. Go follow her. And before we leave, do you have any more tips on love?
Yes, I want to say two things. One, I want people to understand how important it is to find their match. Not just the person that you think you're attracted to, but literally find your match. But the only way to find your match is to find out who you are and what you're willing to and not to accept. So there are a lot of people who have emotions that they don't even understand. I would say get help. And I don't mean help like everybody's crazy and they need someone to talk to, but everyone needs somebody to talk to. Even Jesus himself in the Bible consulted help, where he went to the mountain for 40 days for his meditation and talking to God, or like when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, at the end of his life, he always sought counsel. And if that's the person that we're supposed to emulate our lives around, then the blueprint is already set. Everyone needs somebody to talk to. And there are a lot of people who know more than you about what you're going through. And sometimes peers are not the people to turn to. They're the most easiest people to relate to because you feel like they know you, but they might not have as much help as people who went to school and find out exactly how to help you. And I think that there's nothing wrong with having someone to talk to. That's first and foremost. Secondly, when it comes to love, do not be afraid to be hurt. Be prepared for it. If you're prepared for something, then when it happens, it hurts much less and you deal with it a lot better than if it sidewinds you. Um, if you're driving straight and you're about to turn into a lane, you look in your mirror, there's no one there, and you go and you get into a crash because you didn't see a car coming, your car's damaged. And now, when you go to turn, you're a little more cautious, but you're not going to stop driving. There's some people who stop driving. I don't advise that. I advise you just being a little more cautious and keep pushing forward. That's my two pieces of advice.
Man, hey, like I told y'all, she get powerful advice. I'm trying to tell y'all, very powerful advice. And I like how the advice that you give, it really aligns with the teachings for me, with my principles, with love. Like it's like aligns, I'm talking about like neck and neck. And I want y'all to understand how we have two different love stories, but we still, right, when it comes to here, we still here. We still on the same page. Like,
Right.
and I want to thank you again for coming on here and just sharing your
I
stories with
appreciate you
us
inviting me.
and
Thank
your
you.
experience. And I hope we get you on here again. Like when you like we gonna catch her again, y'all, after the once
Yeah,
she
as soon as
didn't
I
proven
drop the
to be
book, I'm
out
gonna come
here.
back to you first for
Yeah.
promo.
Yes. Yes. Soon as she dropped the book, y'all, she gonna come here, she gonna show us, and then we gonna get the title of it. We gonna get where
Yes,
to order it at and everything. So
absolutely.
I want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You are like inspiring to me. So if ain't nobody
Same.
told you like you got to start doing your labs. And we, me and you, we talked about how you can do it without even showing your face. You know what I mean? But
That's true.
you give so much, like you give your advice is so inspiring. Like you have to go lab and start telling people. Like people need to hear you. They need to hear your story. They need to hear your advice.
It's in the stars for me.
Hey, that's okay. Hey, it got to start somewhere. So we'll take
Yeah, you
that.
know
We'll
what's so
take
funny? Okay, remember how you told the people I'm a writer, right? I
right.
really write so well. Like I'm truly a scribe. Like since second grade until now, I've been writing everything. I could text you an entire book. When it comes to speaking out loud, because I'm able to think a little more on paper and cross it out if it doesn't seem like exactly what I want to say, out loud, you cannot unhear something. And I know that I have the power to say something that people can remember for the rest of their lives. And I get a little intimidated because I don't want to say the wrong things, or like I don't want to be misinterpreted, or when I write, I feel like I'm very much more clearer, and that's why I don't go live, because I'd be afraid like maybe I'm gonna say the thing that they're gonna take a clip of and like 10x it and like make me sound like a horrible person. But I got over that. Like as soon as Coach C had his retreat and I met all of you amazing people, I felt a certain confidence that I didn't have before that, and I'm grateful. I didn't want to become a coach. I only came to the event because he told me it would be good to do networking because I don't talk well out loud, or so I think. And so he told me, you know what? I don't know where to go for networking. Come to my event. And I'm like, okay, I definitely will. I had no idea like it was gonna make lifetime changing people. I'm just grateful that I agreed that I should be there, and I'm grateful for you taking an interest in it. Thank you.
Oh, you welcome. I'm grateful to even meet you. Like, and I just can't wait to see your journey and read your book because I know it's gonna be great. I'm gonna be one of like your first buyers because I'm ready. So thank you again for joining us. And I hope you have a great day, Queen. And I look
Yes,
forward to
ma'am.
reading your book. All right.
You have a great day as well.
Talk to you
Okay,
later.
viewers. Bye, guys.
Look, you ready, Sasa? Here I come. Love you more. Well, y'all heard it here first. Y'all got to hear from Miss Champs herself, Miss Sheree. So y'all got to hear some of my love story. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Until next time, make sure y'all sharing this video. If you need a life coach, reach out to Queen A. Make sure you can just comment on this video, Lion, or you can reach out to me on any of my platforms. I'm Queen A Speaks on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Pick a platform, you can find me on there, okay? Until next time, if don't nobody else love you, Queen A does. Later. Mwah.